I live a very volatile lifestyle, and I mean, I get afraid sometimes. So this was definitely really nice, and the people have just been so great, and it's just like coming back. So after 2 years, like a lot of the crew does feel like family, and especially everyone here. We have that, but you don't necessarily get that from the movie. So it's just, there are different things. I did a Kung Fu movie, that was like my first project, and I loved it. I was so new, I didn't know anything. I think I was shirtless for most of it, but this was also the first time I ever had money in my life. And I remember going to the grocery store, I'm like, I want chips. And I literally did this. And like thinking back, it's like, oh, you're so stupid. You're young and you're stupid. And you're topless this entire thing, and you've gained 15 pounds before the end of shooting. It's like, you can't, I went into it like the best shape of my life, and I came out of it in the worst shape of my life. Because I indulged so much. But it was fun because I got to do so much action, and I came from a martial arts background, and I really thrive on anything physical that might be dangerous, because I like that pressure, right? So for martial arts, when I was competing, it's like a routine thing. You only get one shot at doing it, even if it's the nationals. If you screw up the littlest thing, that's it, right? It has to be perfect on the first try, and that's what you train for. And for filmmaking, you get a lot of second takes, but for a lot of action stuff, you don't, and I kind of like that. I think that answers your first part. What was the second part of your question?
Who was your favorite person to work with, like somebody you idolized?
Apart from Mark Shepard, it's like, I don't know why, it's just like Mark. Somebody I idolize. Again, different people for different reasons. Ben Edlund is a big one. He created the Kevin character, he brought me into this world, and like just getting to know him, and I don't know if any of you have actually seen his show, but if you're in LA, every now and then he'll do a show as Ghost Tiger, where he paints himself up as a tiger, and he performs as Ben Edlund being taken over by some extraterrestrial being. I mean, it's super far out. Like, I remember the first time I went out, I don't quite understand, but it's Ben, so I kind of understand. He's just one of those characters that really makes you, I don't know, he's a brilliant man. I guess just seeing how his thinking process works was really cool, and just to see someone who wanted to perform but couldn't do it in his own body. I know, Ben he's led me to a lot of thinking on the different kinds of performers there are, and different types of creative people, and he's definitely inspired me to do a lot. And so, yeah, he's one of the guys that I stay in touch with, and it was very sad to see him leave the show. So, I definitely follow his career, and every time I'm in LA, I will definitely catch a Ghost Tiger show. So he's definitely been a big one.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi. Okay, so I know everyone says that like anger is like one of the stages of grief, but I think when it comes to Kevin and us as a fandom, it's the only stage, so we're never gonna get over him. After his death, when I saw your name in the credits after, I danced because I was just happy I got to see you again, but I was really sad to see your last episode. So I have a question relating to it. Kevin was his spirit was gravitating towards something that was left behind in the bunker, and now I don't want this to happen, but if you were to die and become a ghost, do you have anything personal that you might, your spirit might haunt?
I mean, nowadays, I feel like I have too much stuff. Clothes, computers, phones, all that stuff. But I could easily live without any of it. When I first moved out with a bunch of friends, we were robbed twice in the same year, and it was terrible, but
lock your door.
we're in the basement and they came through from the top, so it was actually the landlord's fault. But I was the only one who had nothing stolen because I had nothing worth taking. And I mean, it's just because I never valued things that much, you know, like money, possessions, all that, you know, they're nice to have, but if I didn't have them, it doesn't make a big deal to me. You know, I grew up, and I don't know if, it's probably not true, but for some reason, I grew up thinking that my parents were like dirt poor, and I just didn't like spending, so, you know, I became very unattached to things. My brothers were the opposite, so I kind of rebelled against them as well. So, you know, like for birthday parties, they'd buy me a bike, I'd make them return it. You know, I'm like, save the money for food. Like, we weren't even that poor, but it made me so sad. So, it's so stupid because it's all in my mind. But yeah, because of that, I just never really got that attached to anything. Like my email, because I have to work out of it, but like cell phones I didn't have until I was 22, because I like to walk around with these pants with no pockets, and I didn't need a wallet because I didn't spend anything. There's this one year I spent $300, and that was because I took a trip to Edmonton to support my brother, and that cost $300. Right? So it's like, I'm like, wow, I really don't need much to survive, but I, you know, again, I'm very blessed to have, you know, wonderful, supportive parents. And yeah, I don't really feel like I have anything that my spirit would haunt. Honestly, at this stage, you guys are the closest thing that I am to, you know, as a collective. So, I probably would. As the gates open, right?
Hi.
Hey.
Mine's not so much a question as us people in silver were online for Ty's autograph for a amount of time that can only be frankly described as ridiculous. And I know that you stood with us for at least 3 hours, and I just wanted to say, at least my group back in Row V really appreciated you.
To karaoke at some point because I promised Richard I would, but I did promise that I would move the chairs back, and you guys did that for me, so thank you.
It made the wait a lot easier for us, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I have kind of two questions in one. Well, being a prophet like Chuck, he had a guardian angel or archangel protecting him. What happened to yours? He should be protecting you, and you guys, you kill your